Did you know that household debt balances in the U.S. have surged to a whopping 17.29 trillion US dollars in just 3 months, from July to September? That's a 1.3% increase from the previous quarter and a staggering 3.1 trillion jump since the last quarter of 2019, before the pandemic. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. Thus, in this video, we'll talk about how delinquencies for credit card loans and auto loans are on the rise. Situation is getting even worse, creating a debt crisis for millions. So, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll always be the first to know about the most important economic developments in the U.S. Thank you for your support. Now, let's get back to the topic. First, auto loans. New data from Fitch Ratings revealed that the number of drivers who are delinquent on their auto loans had reached a level not seen since October of 1996, when the first mobile flip phone entered the market. Specifically, Fitch Ratings examined the percentage of borrowers who are at least 60 days past due on their loans in the third quarter of 2023. Data suggests that some borrowers are at a higher risk than others. There are a number of factors that have contributed to this surge. If you're concerned about falling behind on your auto loan payments, there are steps you could take to decrease your risk and ensure that you stay on track. There are two main reasons behind the increasing delinquency rates in the auto loan market. First factor is the persistently high price of vehicles, which have been a concern for quite some time now. Second factor is the high interest rates that borrowers have to pay on their auto loans. Although there has been a slight decline in vehicle prices compared to last year, they're still significantly higher than before the pandemic. According to Kelley Blue Book, prices of used cars have dropped by 4%, while new vehicles have decreased by just over 1%. However, these prices are still much higher than the pre-pandemic levels. As a result, many people are struggling to keep up with the payments on their auto loans, leading to a rise in delinquency rates. Overall, the past few years, the prices of new cars have witnessed a significant surge, making it difficult for people to find affordable options in the current market. Despite a 1.4% drop in average transaction prices for new cars as of October compared to the previous year, the average price has risen to $47,936 US dollars, which is almost a 60% increase in the last decade. This exorbitant hike in prices has led to a decline in the number of affordable new cars available in the market, making it challenging for buyers to find suitable options that meet their budget. Now let's dive into more details. Based on the data collected by Experian, the third quarter of 2023, the average car payments for new, leased, and used vehicles have all risen year over year. The increase for new vehicles is 3.6% for new leased vehicles. It's a 4.6%, and for used cars, it's 0.8%. This implies that on average, the monthly payments for new, leased, and used cars are now $726, $597, and $533 respectively. Despite the fact that new vehicle prices have gone up by 1.9%, according to the October 2023 U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index, the increase isn't as severe as it is for used car and truck prices, which have gone down by 7.1%. This drop in used car prices could be attributed to the increase in new car sales, which has likely led to more trade-ins. Experian also reports that Americans borrow an average of $40,184 for new vehicles and $27,167 for used vehicles. Auto loan debt is now the third largest category of debt after mortgages and is almost equal to student loans. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Americans owe a staggering $1.595 trillion in auto loan debt, which accounts for 9.2% of American consumer debt. In the third quarter of 2023, Americans took out an average of $59.8 billion in new auto loans each month, which is a significant increase from the previous year. The New York Fed reports that Americans younger than 50 take out $36.6 billion in auto debt monthly during the third quarter, compared to $22.1 billion among those 50 and older. This data suggests that younger Americans are more inclined to take out auto loans than older individuals. However, one of the major drawbacks of these loans is that Americans are taking many years to pay them off. Experian reports that the average auto loan term is 68.3 months for new cars, 67.6 months for used cars, and 36.2 months for leased vehicles. This implies that Americans will be repaying their auto loans for several years, which could lead to financial stress and may impact their ability to make other significant purchases. That said, let's move to the second issue, credit card loans. Take a look at this chart. As per the latest financial reports, the total credit card debt held by Americans currently stands at a staggering $1.079 trillion, a significant increase from the previous year. Data from S&P Global Market Intelligence shows that delinquencies on credit cards issued by banks in the U.S. increased significantly, rising by 41 basis points quarter over quarter to reach 3.09%. This is the highest level recorded since March 2020, when the delinquency rate was 2.89%. The rise in delinquencies is a concerning indicator of potential further deterioration in the credit card market. Net charge-offs, NCOs, which represent the amounts that lenders consider unrecoverable, typically follow delinquencies, and as such, an increase in NCOs is expected. The NCO rate for the industry rose by 9 basis points sequentially to 3.57%, which is still below the level seen in 2018 and 2019. However, increasing delinquencies and NCOs cause concern for creditors and financial institutions, as it could signal increasing financial stress for American consumers. Speaking of which, U.S. buy now, pay later splurges raise holiday debt hangover risk. The emergence of buy now, pay later (BNPL) services has been met with some concerns, as it's been suggested that some consumers are turning to these largely unregulated installment loans after exhausting their mainstream credit options. However, industry experts have noted that many people are actually choosing to use BNPL services as a complementary option or even an alternative to traditional credit cards. While there are certainly BNPL users who are struggling financially and see this as a last resort, there are also many who are simply attracted to the convenience and flexibility of these services. Overall, the rise of BNPL represents a shift in how people manage their finances, and it will be interesting to see how this trend continues to evolve in the coming years. What affects credit card loans? You guessed it, the Federal Reserve. In its ongoing efforts to combat inflation, the Federal Reserve has achieved noteworthy progress. As of November, inflation has been brought down to 3.1%, indicating a significant decrease from previous levels. While the central bank is not yet ready to declare a complete victory, it has adopted a more dovish stance regarding monetary policy. At its December 2023 meeting, the Fed maintained its target interest rate range of 5.25% to 5.5%, signaling a continued commitment to achieving its inflation objectives. However, as a credit card holder, it's essential to have a clear understanding of how variable card interest rates work. These rates are directly linked to the prime rate, which is set by financial institutions and used as a benchmark for determining interest rates on loans and credit cards. Typically, issuers add a markup to the prime rate to arrive at the final interest rate on your card. Unfortunately, current economic conditions suggest that variable interest rates are likely to remain high for the foreseeable future. This is because the prime rate is determined in part by the Federal Reserve's target interest rate, which is currently at a historic low. As the Fed begins to raise its target rate, the prime rate will also go up, causing variable interest rates on credit cards to increase as well. In recent months, we've already seen a significant uptick in interest rates on credit cards across the country. According to recent data, the national average APR for credit cards was 20.72% in early December, up from 16.34% in March 2022. Finally, young Americans have more credit card delinquencies than other age groups. According to a recent report, the delinquency rate of credit card borrowers belonging to the millennial age group has increased by 0.4% in the third quarter of 2023 compared to the previous year. However, the current delinquency rate of 2.9% is still lower than that of Gen Z credit card borrowers, who have a delinquency rate of 3.1%. Considering the current economic situation, whether young Americans will overcome auto loans and credit card debt crises remains a question. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share your opinion on the credit card and auto loan debt crisis in the comments section below.